take this opportunity to thank the board and superintendent who are willing to revisit, discuss, maybe revise as needed for the resolution 2016-17-33 of recognizing and honoring the flag of former Republic of Vietnam and honoring the contribution of Vietnamese Americans. This resolution was requested by me and was approved unanimously on April 2017 by our board members Nguyen, Herrera, Cortese, except our new board member Chavez, who replaced board member Bill, and I hope that board member Chavez will also learn about this issue and let us know if you have any questions. I'm proud of the work of Eastside because we were the first district who implemented the Vietnamese language classes as accredited foreign language to graduate and accepted in college, as well as the new Vietnamese language classes for Viet students who were born in America along with other ethnic students. We were also the first district who championed the resolution of the former South Republic of Vietnam flag, and other districts like Franklin, McKinley, Allen Rock, and Peters, other districts have followed our footsteps. I hope to have an open discussion, listen to the Vietnamese American community comments this evening, and support the board to implement the cultural sensitivity, especially with the Vietnamese American community is the second largest community and student in Eastside. We feel subject related to the resolution 2016-17, like the Black April, the Fall of Saigon, the Vietnam War, and the Vietnam former South Republic flag. The boat people, Vietnam veteran and soldier have sacrificed their life, etc. in the curriculum of ethnic study course. I'm glad to hear that this course is a requirement for high school graduation in 2020. The bill was signed in 2016 and will be rolled out next year. I also want to appreciate the Vietnamese American community leaders, organization, media, and individuals who come tonight and speak on this important item of today's agenda. And I hope that we have a very valuable and open conversation to help board, administrators, teachers, staff, and students to understand in depth about the cultural diversity and sensitivity of the Vietnamese community in Eastside District. I have received many phone calls and emails from parents and community, as well as media, relating to the communist flag symbol was placed on the mural of Independence High School last month. Luckily, Principal Board already removed as quickly after the meeting with parents and community leaders. I did share this with my colleagues about the incident, along with two previous incidents related to the communist flag up here at the Independence High School during the multicultural show, and another time at Overfell High School during my visit to English learner classroom that led to the discussion today. And thank you for Principal Board Teacher Joanna Shea, Ava Chow, Tan Thuy from Independence High School. They reacted as soon as I mentioned to them about the wrong flag was displayed at Independence High School. As teacher Karen Toth and Principal Vito Kala at Overfell also removed and replaced the right flag, and also offered me an open discussion with students and teachers to understand the reason about the removal of the communist flag, as well as the history and story challenge the Vietnamese immigrants that have struggled and sacrificed their life for their future of freedom. I believe if we have the ethnic study course, teachers will have a better understanding about cultural sensitivity and history to teach students about the reason why Vietnamese community overseas respect and use only the former South Republic of Vietnam flag on every Vietnamese community events and ceremony, including as well the city, county, and district already approved the resolution of former Vietnamese South Republic of Vietnamese flag. I also propose to add the recognition and honoring 58,000 American soldiers as also Vietnam veterans who sacrificed for Vietnam War, and the resolution to include it in the ethnic study for the cultural sensitivity. And I also suggest the board administrator, district student, teacher of Viet language classes and ethnic study course, if they have time, please visit the Viet Museum located on Central Road in Happy Hollow to see many pictures, souvenirs, and to understand more about the Vietnam War. I'd like to say a little bit about in Vietnamese to the Vietnamese Vietnamese community leaders. Vâng Lê cảm ơn sự hiện diện của tất cả quý vị ngày hôm nay. Sự quan tâm của quý vị nói lên lập trường trong Cộng của người Việt Việt Nam Cộng sản, thành phố San Jose trong học khu Eastside, và chúng ta sẽ giúp cho học khu Eastside từ hiệu trưởng, thầy cô và nhân viên hiểu rõ thêm về lịch sử Việt Nam. Vì sau ngày 30 tháng 4 1975, có hàng triệu người tị nạn Việt Nam đã bỏ rơi nơi chôn nhau cắt rúng và hy sinh tính mạng, tài sản và không chấp nhận chế độ cộng sản. Đồng thời giảng dạy cho thế hệ tương lai hiểu rõ về lá cờ vàng ba sọc đỏ, và từ đây về sau chúng ta sẽ không thấy lá cờ đó xuất hiện trong học khu hoặc những nơi khác. Vâng Lê là người đầu tiên đã đề nghị nghị quyết vinh danh lá cờ vàng và vinh danh sự đóng góp của người Mỹ gốc Việt trong học khu, và được Hội đồng Quản trị chấp thuận trên năm tháng 4 năm 2017. Vâng Lê cũng rất hãnh diện là học khu Eastside là học khu đầu tiên đã dạy tiếng Việt với sách giáo khoa của thầy cô ở trong học khu dạy tiếng Việt trước 75, và đã có các lớp dạy tiếng Việt cho học sinh sinh đẻ ở Hoa Kỳ và các sắc dân khác, và đã được chấp thuận làm lớp ngoại ngữ, được chứng chỉ ra trường và lên đại học. Nhưng lần này Vân đề nghị vào cái việc này vào trong nghị trình vì đã nhận được nhiều điện thoại và email và sự xuất hiện của lá cờ đỏ trong học đường và sự phản đối của phụ huynh, học sinh và các hội đoàn tị nạn Cộng sản Việt Nam. Nên Vân Lê hy vọng là sau cái buổi họp này, Hội đồng Quản trị sẽ biểu quyết bổ túc thêm việc giảng dạy về lịch sử Việt Nam, về tháng thư đen, về lá cờ vàng ba sọc đỏ, về sự hy sinh của các chiến binh Hoa Kỳ và những người lính Việt Nam Cộng Hòa, trong đó các ông bà, cha chú và các em học sinh. Và trong trường lớp qua khóa học dân tộc và ethnic study courses. Đó là sự thành công của cộng đồng người Việt của chúng ta trong học khu Eastside, và hy vọng các học khu khác trong tiểu bang Cali và ủy ban giáo dục Việt hay thầy cô và phụ huynh người Việt cũng có thể tranh đấu giống như vậy. Nếu quý vị nào muốn nói đến ý kiến của mình, xin ghi vào cái lá tờ giấy màu vàng ở đây để mà đón lên cái ý kiến và một trình ngày hôm nay. Mình xin cảm ơn.
We do have a couple of speakers on this item, and I actually want to take a moment to recognize some dignitaries we have with us. We have the curator of the Vietnamese American Museum, Mr. Lạc Vu. Thank you for being with us. We also have the former mayor of Sunnyvale, Mr. Otto Lee. Thank you for being with us.
You hear me? Okay, good. If you want to know more about the story of the flag, come to my museum, Viet Museum. We collect about 40 years item, and we built the very first and one and only Viet Museum in next to Chapel Garden. And you do not know, a lot of your students come to my museum to learn about the lesson of the flag, but not you. It may be my mistake or you're not good enough. So I want to invite you on November 16th. Come to very big event. Thank you, America Day.
Thank you very much.
And on this picture, you see your students learning about the story of the flag at the museum. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So next I will call Joanna Shea, followed by C.D. Nguyen, followed by Phuc Thi Lê, followed by Otto Lee.
Good evening. Good evening, Board of Trustees, Mr. Peng, and administrative staff of Eastside. My name is Joanna Shea. I teach at Independence High School. This is my 22nd year of teaching at Independence. And I'm an immigrant from Hong Kong. I came here in the 70s to attend college. But growing up in the 60s, I learned a lot about the Vietnam War. And when I attended college here in the 70s, I met the first wave of Vietnamese immigrants. Culturally, we have a lot in common. And however, I learned South Vietnamese flag spirit of multicultural assembly and independence this April, after so many years. Ms. Van Lee, our trustee, pointed out to me about the flag, the meaning of it, and explained to me the meaning of the flag to the Vietnamese community. I felt very embarrassed after 22 years of teaching at Independence to learn something that is so crucial to the community. And I felt that we should do more in education to educate ourselves and our students about the culture and, the hardships they endure. I would compare that like to the Jewish community. Okay, don't want to talk about it more about that, but I felt that our community should learn more about the culture. Although I never experienced the suffering and pain of Vietnamese immigrants that they had to endure, but I do understand the importance of the flag now and what it means to them, their strong desire to maintain the symbols of identity. And that is so deeply ingrained in them in the culture. I think it's also tied to the importance of the ethnic studies of Vietnamese culture and also Asians and Latino culture or heritage at Eastside. So culturally, I think we share very strong values in education, families, respect for each other, elderlies, and all that. It will be very valuable for the community, all the citizens in the community to learn and understand each other's culture. So I'm here to express my support for our students, colleagues, friends in this community, and I really appreciate Ms. Van Lee, made this proposal to us and get us educated. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. My name is Thi Nguyen. I represent Viet Museum. A little bit more than that, I'd like to thank you for your resolution of 2016-17, recognizing and honoring our Vietnamese flag, which is what you see right here. And I'd like to reaffirm that the flag is the identity of our people, the both people who have fought and eventually had to flee the country in order to seek for freedom in the shores of freedom. So I'd like to reaffirm obviously thank you for your resolution and reaffirm the same resolution that we want to be here for a long, long time. The second thing I'd like to do is to renew our invitation for you to go to Viet Museum. Viet Museum has been here 20 years. At the history part, it's been there 10 years. It is unique in itself. It represents the story of the both people and the Republic of Vietnam, which is our identity, and you will see there the history of both people and the Republic of Vietnam. So we'd like to invite you to go to the museum whenever you have a chance, and we would appreciate very much your presence there. Thank you.
Good evening, all staff. My name is Phúc Lee, and I am the president of the Vietnamese Navy veterans of California. I come here to ask you support us to honor and recognize the Vietnamese flags. I will tell you the story and tell you how. Okay? Back to 44 years ago, when the Vietnamese fleet arrived in Silicon Bay, the Philippine government refused to let us in. They told us to replace the Vietnamese flags with American flags because they did not want to offend the new government. We had to put down our flags, and on of us flag that we have cherished for 100 years in the process of building or defending of the country. Our flag is not merely the cross. It's the symbol of the humanity. The freedom is the combination of the blood, the tears, the lives of the over millions of the South people. This is national flag. It's not like the album of red flags. That's flag for the inhumane reason. That's the flag of looting and the cruelty. Under this regime, I mean our country now, okay? The hundreds of the thousand people were killed during the land of the reform program between 1945 and 1960. And after 1975, the hundreds of the thousand people more were killed directly and in the concentration camps, or indirectly for those who crossed the sea or land to fight freedom. Now, the many people over there have been suppressed and miserable by the Communist Party. People, our people, they don't have food to eat. They have no school to study, and they cannot speak what they want. This, you can see, is a backward society. And us, we have never accepted this red flag. We come here to pursue the freedom, looking forward for a peaceful life in the United States. Please do not force us to accept the red flags. We come here, we work, and we pay tax. Our descendants, some also join the army to protect the United States. We are proud to have contributed to the prosperity to the United States and the communists. They not only do not help us,
Could I ask you to wrap up?
Okay. Once again, we ask you to allow the yellow flag to stay in this state forever. And also the red flag is not allowed to exist anywhere in this area. Please be at the chance to keep our promise 44 years ago. Keeping our national flag here until sometime in the future. It will be elevated right in the city of Saigon. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening, Madam President and honorable trustees. My name is Otto Lee. It's truly an honor and pleasure to be speaking with you tonight on this very important topic to many of those in the community, especially the Vietnamese community. Our San Jose has over a 10% population of Vietnamese Americans, and a lot of them are immigrants that came after or during the war in the 60s, 70s, and 80s and thereafter. And even though I'm an immigrant from Hong Kong myself, the pain and what people would have to endure to come to new countries that I myself experienced, certainly not to that degree. What I do want to say is that I also have served in the military as well for the last 28 years and retired from the Navy. And throughout the various places I served trying to defend our country from the invasion of communists and democracy. And why I'm saying that is because the flag today means so much more. For example, if you try to fly this flag today anywhere in Vietnam, you will be jailed. This is very serious. There is no freedom of speech, there's no freedom of expression, and there's still very much a communist-run government. And the symbolism of what this flag stands for is so much greater than just yellow and three stripes. As a military service member, when I see a ribbon or medal being worn by a veteran of a yellow background with a three stripe, it means that you have served in Vietnam. And many of them actually didn't serve because they wanted to. They were drafted. And if you recall, as much as we treat our veterans very well, for those who are coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan, as they say, those who came back from Vietnam were spat at, was called baby killers. Remember those days? It is so important that we remember those histories so that we don't make that same mistakes again to our veterans ever. And I think this is so important. That's why we are here today to talk about it. And as far as the fight for democracy and freedom, this is not ancient history. Look at Hong Kong last night, this past weekend. The fight for freedom is very, very real today. And so I just want to make sure that this spirit is very much alive, and that I applaud this board for your vision of supporting not just the honoring of the flag and the sacrifices, but also introducing the curriculum so that our children, the next generation, get to learn about what this flag means. And because the regular textbook kind of brushed it through. Vietnam War, U.S. laws, and we left. It's not that simple. There was a lot that went with it, and I think it's so important that our school are teaching that to our children. Again, I'm running out of time, but thank you very much for allowing me to speak. Thank you very much.
I want to thank Mr. Vu, who came in earlier and spoke, as well as Mr. Nguyen, and Mr. Lei, what you shared earlier really what I identified. It is true that this flag is the identity of the Vietnamese community, especially the Vietnamese boat people who risked their life to escape the country to come to America or other countries. I myself was also a boat person. We tried to escape in a small boat of 10 feet wide and 18 feet long. 57 people on that little fishing boat to try to escape the country. It was 1984. Luckily, after 2 weeks, running out of food and fuel, we were sort of like on the ocean. Luckily, landed into this deserted island in Indonesia, and eventually was rescued and placed in one of the refugee camp in Indonesia. We set up about a year before I made that camp to America. And it's not only the story of one Vietnamese family like myself, but according to history, there were almost 2 million Vietnamese people who tried to escape the country. And it was reported that almost 500,000 Vietnamese people were at sea because of this flag. So we really identified with this issue. So thank you for the Vietnamese community for coming forward today, supporting this issue. Thank you, Board Member Lei, for bringing this up. But also, there's a large issue here about the resolution and how our process works, because we approved this resolution in 2017. But this such incident happened at Independence High School. I don't know process-wise, procedurally, but after we approve the resolution, what happens, because if we don't look or examine the normal process that we have now, with our resolution that we approved, we don't know what happened afterwards. So I don't know if staff or superintendents, you have explanation for this. And
you are the first. So my understanding is that the action is in bringing it to public discussion at a formal meeting of the board and an opportunity for the community to give its voice as it has tonight. The resolution is already embraced, adopted, supported formally. Nothing has changed about it. But we can again just speak out tonight, as we are doing, to say that we esteem our Vietnamese community and we understand the power and significance of that flag, and how you are the stewards and custodians of a journey to freedom. And it means something. So there was a lapse. I don't know all the details at Independence High School, but my belief is that there is every intention and a recommitment to our commitment as a board and as a district to honor the Vietnamese community and to honor the flag that represents their journey to freedom.
We do have a comment from our student board representative, Ms. Nina Nguyen.
I'd also like to thank the Vietnamese community for, embracing the diversity we have in San Jose and really embracing and spreading the culture of Vietnam. And I'd also like to thank Eastside as well for making opportunities available for Vietnamese students to learn Vietnamese at school, because I also take Vietnamese at school, and without those classes I definitely wouldn't know about the Vietnamese flag today, so I'm really appreciative of that.
So, Superintendent, we did have the resolution 2017, and our board already approved it. Could we add or another subject is to recognize and honor the Vietnam veterans, and also to add in a section for cultural sensitivity in the ethnic study course that we launched in 2020, because I know that even though we had the resolution 2 years ago, but the incident still happened in the classroom, in the multicultural show at Independence, at Overfell. So I think it's the level of understanding in depth in terms of for teachers, staff, have not been really recognized the resolution that we already passed in 2017. So what's your comments about this? What do you think that we should do?
So I think you just asked if we could add to the resolution. That would be something that certainly if the board is interested in doing that, we could add language to it. But I will certainly reaffirm the district's commitment to make sure that each year the resolution is highlighted at the beginning of the school year as part of our regular reminders and mandates of certain training that takes place. As far as adding it to potential ethnic studies courses, I think as we look at developing new curriculum and making sure that we highlight key events in the lives of the students that we represent is a critical step that we need to continue to improve on. And we have our commitment to work in that direction.
And I think that's for next year, 2020, and with the fall of Saigon, April 30th, hopefully that we will do something to recognize this benchmark of 45 years of the fall of Saigon. Significantly, that the Vietnamese American community really want to embrace this, into the district. And I think that's something that I believe that the community really want to see this happen. For the flag, the Vietnamese former Republic of Vietnam flag, will be displayed, and we have maybe a ceremony for the April 30th to recognize that. So, and I think this may be a professional development for teachers, administrators, because I know that some of the administrators probably still did not recognize or did not know about the Vietnamese flag. It's the difference between the former Republic South Vietnam flag and the communist flag. So I hope that we will not see the wrong flag again in the district after this resolution, if we revise it or we add the addendum. But hopefully that this is an open discussion and education for everyone in the district. So I think that's what I would recommend it, and especially for ethnic study. We still have a lot of documentary film as well as resources. Probably, and Mr. Longbu already mentioned that probably they still have some in museum and some other places. So you still can have a good chance that the administrators, teachers and staff can learn in depth, and how can we support the student, the next generation, to learn about the Vietnamese South Republic of Vietnam flag.
I do have one more request to speak from Joanna Shea.
Yeah, I am aware of the incident that Independence Responde was sitting next to me. What happened is actually the teachers had good intention of students trying to do a project for a multicultural event. But honestly, we are dumbfounded. None of the teachers. I have Vietnamese friends, I have to the school, I love my kids, I talk to them about everything, but we never mentioned about the flag. And honestly, I didn't even know 2017, this, this is actually part of the change. So I would suggest, if we can do it during professional development, if it comes from the district I was going to suggest to my principal, but I don't know what is the right thing to do. If during professional development, it is passed on to the teachers, get them educated, so they know, they understand deeper about what that means. I will help to speak to them too. Although I'm not Vietnamese myself, but I understand the depths of, the compassion about the flag and what it means. So if you can do it in professional development and then figure out a way to communicate to our students, or even put flags in the classroom. So put different flags of different nations in the classroom, so that the kids are educated. I think we will solve the problem. Honestly, the kids really don't know. When I talk to the younger teacher, they just, the reaction is so different. But since I went through the time, well, not the war, but I understand a lot deeper and your generation. So my feeling is really stronger than the younger generation teachers. And then at the same time, the best is to educate everybody, because we really don't know. I know that, I thought that the three-stripe flag is what currently is using in Vietnam. So when they were waving the communist flag, I don't even know what that flag is. I thought it's Eastern Europe somewhere. We are so naive. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
So, as a result of this evening's discussion, I'm hearing the superintendent is going to assure that this is part of the introductory information presented at the start of the school year for our staff. And then there are other good suggestions about perhaps including it in some aspect of professional development. I'm thinking, I'm really appreciating the invitation to the Viet Museum, and I do commit myself within the next 30 days or less, I will be there to experience the Viet Museum. If you don't already have the story of Van Nguyen as one of the boat people, it should be a part of that local museum. Because when people come here, they should know that a long-time serving elected official is a part of that journey of the boat people. So if we want to press a resolution of that, we will. So thank you again. I'm so appreciative of this conversation tonight.
However, I'm also a boat people. And yes, I have a story. When I left Vietnam, my boat got bombed in 2 big holes, and I thought that 6 people died in front of me. I didn't think that I would survive until then. So, I mean, a lot of a horrible story, and that's why a lot of people were offended when they saw the communist flag. And they are, grandparents, parents of all of this younger generation. And I've been through the horrible time, and I knew that, to come to United States, I never thought that my parents told me that we just tried to avoid the bomb in Saigon. And that's why we left and just we didn't bring anything. We just, come to United States, but it's lucky that we're still alive. So I think we have a lot of both people's story. And I know that, I think in 2017, that we did we coordinate a contest for the student that led to close to the fall of Saigon. And the student learned from the parent, and they wrote about the story of their parent, why the parent came to the United States, what did they, sacrifice their life, everything that they was, created in the time. So I think that probably what I suggest, with 45 years benchmark 2020, I think if we can have coordinated another contest for the students so they can learn a little bit more about the Vietnamese flag, and as well as to really reinforce to teachers and the community that the resolution has existed.
I'm very moved. I'm very moved that two of the members of our Board of Trustees are both people who have a very riveting story of escaping the communist regime and of journeying here on their journey to freedom as part of this community here today. And then we're all proud of them. So thank you.
I'd like to echo that, and Trustee Van Lay, even though I was not here when this resolution was passed, I want to show everybody that I am 100% in support. Thank you for coming and sharing your story, your history. I personally have a lot of learning to do, so I too will commit, like Trustee Herrera, and visiting the museum and bringing my two little people. I have a 4- and a 6-year-old to start, their journey and understanding Vietnamese history as well. So thank you so much. We appreciate it. I am eager to hear. I think I've started to hear a little bit about your story, but I need to hear yours. So eager to continue learning.
I also think that we can also implement these learning changes during March or May when we have the Vietnamese ceremony for students. When students are invited and they receive an honor, I feel like we could also remind them that we could remind them what the flag means. So I feel like that would be very important as well.
So just a little note on the side. So we know that the April 30th is the one of the very significant day to the Vietnamese community or Vietnamese people throughout the world. We know that in the U.S., May is the Asian Pacific American month. If there's an event that we can, if there's an opportunity that we can have some sort of event in between late April or May to not only celebrate the Asian Pacific American month, but also use that as an opportunity to talk about the April 30th or the Vietnamese community's contribution or how or what impact it made to the East Side community. I think that would be helpful not only for the community but also for our students, not only Asian American students but our large population students, so that they know about it.
And a part that we should not do May 1st, because that is the day celebration from communists that took over Saigon, took over the South Vietnam. So we have to be careful and be very sensitive, because I know I'm involved in the community a lot. So I would prefer if we can do it in April, and we end it on April 30th, because I would think it's the month of April, a significant month for the Vietnamese American community, that they lost, the South Vietnam, and a lot of people died during, the April month, because, for the veterans as well as, the soldier. So I believe that as a 45 years benchmark, that's a really significant time and date. So hopefully that we can organize something for the students, the contest, and also we have a flag ceremony on April 30th, and we'll invite the community to come over, and probably will be the first, the Vietnamese flag will fly into East Side District on on April 30th. So something that I'm really dear to my heart, because last year we went to Franklin McKinley and they had the flag ceremony for April 30th. And I was wondering that for East Side, we have a resolution. Actually, they follow our footsteps to have a resolution in Franklin McKinley, but we never have the flag ceremony for April 30th to commemorate, you know, the 58,000 American soldiers who sacrificed for the Vietnam War, and as well as the contribution of Vietnamese American community in East Side.
So I want to echo my thanks to the community for coming out tonight, and I've known about the significance of this flag for many, many years, and it touches me always. So very good to have you with us tonight. Thank you.